And then there were 4. Let's give you score predictions. BYU, Houston, Texas Tech, Arizona. This is Locked On Big 12.
You are Locked On Big 12, your daily podcast on the Big 12 Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome into Locked On Big 12. I'm Drake Toll from America's #1 Big 12 podcast, Locked On Big 12. Thank you for making this show your first listen every single day. No moving card today, but on site as the Savannah Bananas and the Party Animals play their first football stadium at Raymond James, home of the Buccaneers, tomorrow night. You can catch that on the Savannah Bananas YouTube. And more importantly for today, the Big 12 tournament is down to 4. Let's preview BYU, Houston, Arizona, Texas Tech. I said earlier this week, this would be the equivalent of BYU going to the college football playoff, Houston going to the college football playoff. Then the week prior saying, you know what? We want to do a scrimmage 1 week before our first college football playoff game. We want to play a full tackle, full speed scrimmage against UNLV. And you know what's crazy is the 4 head coaches of these schools said, we don't care. We don't care. We are here, the Big 12 tournament, to win, to bolster our seed, to get more quad 1 wins. And now the 1 through 4 seeds are the ones that still represent this conference on the second to last day of the Big 12 tournament in Kansas City, with BYU playing Houston at 7 o'clock Eastern, Arizona and Texas Tech 9:30 Eastern. I first want to commend the Big 12 before I predict and preview these games. Commend the Big 12 for taking numerous lumps this year as a conference that is down. And even I said earlier in the year, there was a disaster scenario for this league where, you only get 6 teams into the big dance. And the ACC looks so bad, the Big 12 looks better. But I am confident now we are overvaluing the SEC. We're going to let Texas and Oklahoma into the big dance when they struggle to do that year in and year out in the Big 12. Lon Kruger forced into retirement. Shaka Smart is fired. Like, both of those schools could barely win in the Big 12, and now we're going to tout them as locks for March Madness in the SEC? Huh. Being the 13 and 14 seeds in the SEC, they can't compete there. The Big 12 is a conference that is undervalued this year for an SEC that is vastly overvalued. And these 4 teams all have an impeccable chance because of their defensive acumen to make a run in March Madness. BYU, Houston. If you ask Haslametrics.com, which I enjoy using, final score 73-65. Houston wins this over BYU. Who does this mean more for? BYU. Houston fans are like, oh, no, we want to win. I know you want to win. You can lose this game and still be a 1 seed. You have locked in a 1 seed at 28-5 with a loss here, 19-1 in Big 12 play in the regular season. For BYU, you can put yourself on that squarely on the 4 line, possibly the 3 line if you win the Big 12 tournament, and you haven't felt lost in a long time. A win here, I know Houston hasn't either, but BYU's on a streak. We talk about game of momentum. Houston has consistency. They only won this entire season. BYU has newfound momentum, newfound consistency. They started Big 12 play in a massive rut, and we wondered if they could be a tournament team. Now they're hot at the right time. Houston's been hot the entire year. They're a machine. BYU wasn't a machine. Winning the Big 12 tournament carries a hot streak that Kevin Young's team is on. Now, if you look at these 2 schools side by side, Houston's just, like I said, it's a machine. They're a juggernaut. Number 1 defensive team in the country. Number 4 offensive team in the country. Where BYU falls short is not on the offensive side. They're 8th in America, but they're 51st defensively, which is not bad. Can carry you to a deep March Madness run. It's not as good when you're playing the Houston Cougars. 99th in America in free throw shooting percentage for the Houston Cougars, 75%. For BYU, they only shoot 68.8%. Now, it hasn't been a huge pitfall these last few games, but for BYU, that's been the kryptonite this season. If you're going to win a game like this, you have to be tactical when free points. Free points are given to you. Houston holds opposing teams to 36.5% shooting. Now, BYU shoots 51%, but like when we talk about rock hard play. What is it like? Immovable object, unstoppable force. That's what we're going to get in BYU's offense and Houston's defense. Can the Cougars keep the lid off the basket where they made 18 3-pointers last game? Cougars at BYU, that is. I don't know. Because I don't know if they'll get to shoot that many. Houston plays with the 361st pace of play in America. But here's why I think BYU has the edge in this game and will ultimately win this game because of this momentum. Houston 339th in the country. They're not very streaky. BYU is. With momentum, they're 5th in the country in momentum. That being a stat Haslametrics keeps up with. That in my back pocket. I think BYU's got enough juice right now in a game of runs, enough juice right now after Houston's sloppy defensive play against Colorado. I don't know if sloppy is the right word. Colorado hit some shots I didn't expect them to. But after that game, I'm leaning BYU. Final score, Cougars of BYU 68, Houston 63. You don't need all the 3-pointers to fall. Just enough. Texas Tech and Arizona. I can't wait for this one. Hasla predicts this game as a final score of 78 for Texas Tech, 77 for Arizona. Just beautiful. Texas Tech 7th in the nation offensively. Arizona 31st defensively. Tech is 19th on defense. Arizona is 10th on offense. These are two of the most elite teams in the country. Arizona is not considered that because they didn't play well early in the year, but they have risen to an impeccable level. 79% at the free throw line. That's 17th in America. Texas Tech at 77% is 47th. These are two tactical, very efficient teams. They meet in a game where, for Arizona, you need to bolster the resume still a little bit. Your non-conference was so bad. Texas Tech, to me, is a 2 seed. I think they should squarely be not just in the 2 conversation, but right there as a 2. For Arizona, I am confident they can be a 5. They can play their way into a 5, possibly a 4 if they win the Big 12 tournament. In this game, when we talk about two teams that one likes to take it slow, 263rd in the nation in pace of play for Texas Tech and 54th in the nation for Arizona in a tournament format when both these teams have been going back and forth for the last 24 hours, playing now their second game in that same span. I personally am going to lean with the team that has, come on, drum roll, please. I'm going to lean with the team that has the momentum and the pace of play where it is. Watching Arizona yesterday, I know Texas Tech was very good against Baylor in a close win, but their second half didn't give me a lot of confidence. Arizona's just a little bit hotter right now. Is Texas Tech the better team overall? I do believe so. I really do. Arizona, to me, wins this game because they will control the pace. Coming off of yesterday's win against Kansas, where they did that same thing. Again, 54th in the country in pace of play. Texas Tech is 263rd in America in that same category. I'm going to go Arizona controlling the tempo. For Texas Tech, that's fine. Get rest. Go into March well rested. Anybody who loses right here, okay, now the big dance starts. The real deal starts. So I wouldn't be upset at all. Arizona gets this game done. They take this one to the high 70s. It's 79-72 Arizona over Texas Tech. Some single-digit games in Big 12 play today. I love March. Hey, today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. If you want to bet on March Madness, you want to test your acumen on March Madness, FanDuel's the place to do it. And you can do that right now with the FanDuel app. Download it on your phone. When the game tips off, it's not over at FanDuel. You can live bet throughout the game, even if you miss the opening tip-off or want to bet on a fourth quarter comeback. Stay in on the action. I love using FanDuel's live betting feature because it keeps every moment of the game exciting. I'm backing my team for late game rally, picking a player to hit a clutch 3. I never feel like I missed my chance. Plus, the app is easy to use. When you win, you get paid instantly. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Visit FanDuel.com to join today. That's FanDuel.com for your shot of $150 in bonus bets. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. That's it. This is March. Yeah. Freaking March. BYU, Arizona. would be a nuts Big 12 championship, and I hope that we get that. This has been and always will be Locked On. Thanks for making it your first listen every single day. Dose Grande.